They're here for liveweatherblogs.com. Looking at the tropics, we have three features. One, probably the most insignificant at this point, is Hurricane Julia, which is getting all dry air wrapped around into it and will die as it was influenced by Hurricane Igor. Julia no longer, it will probably move up in this fashion and away and be a fish storm. Hurricane Igor, on the other hand, rather strong Category 4 the other day, is making a beeline for Bermuda. Bermuda sitting up here. This is going to become a very dangerous situation for Bermuda as Hurricane Igor can move off to the northwest and then wraps around the west side of the island. It'll either Igor will either cross over Bermuda or just to the west of Bermuda. Worst case scenario would be for Igor to track in this fashion and pass just to the west of Bermuda before moving off to the north-northeast. If you're in Bermuda and you want to start finalizing your preparations for, I would say at this point, a direct hit from Hurricane Igor, I would batten down the hatches, folks. Could be a dangerous situation. This Igor in this vicinity of Bermuda with, I would suspect, no less than 150 per hour sustained winds, and obviously the gusts will be higher than that. This could be a very dangerous situation. Worse than you saw with Fabian back a few years back. On the other note here, we have Carl right here on the edge of my screen. Carl came ashore of the Yucatan Peninsula yesterday morning and is now re-emerged in the Bay of Campeche. Has developed rapidly, 80-mile-per-hour hurricane. You can just make out an eye. A very small, compact storm, and these small, compact storms can develop rather rapidly. It's probably about 8 to 12 hours away from land, so it doesn't got much more time to develop. That moves into the southwestern coast, the southwestern portion of the coast of the Gulf of Mexico in Mexico. You're in this area, you want to prepare for flooding rains, and it'll blow ashore pretty strong, but it should be over a rather small area due to the compactness of the storm compared to Igor, which is a much larger circulation. Looking now at the water vapor map, here's Igor moving off to the northwest. Very strong upper level system blowing through Lake Erie at this time. Very severe weather just broke from about Baltimore, southeast side of Philadelphia up to New York City, where tornado warnings were issued about an hour and a half ago. Things have calmed down a little bit, but this trough here is really going to accelerate Igor off toward Bermuda. And how quickly this trough can get off the east coast here will depend exactly what the effect on Bermuda could it stay to the east of Bermuda. It's still that's a possibility, but we'll see what happens. And here's Carl moving toward west, just south of west. If it does move further south, it'll make landfall sooner. And here's what's left of Julia, still a hurricane. This will be weakening too, as you see all the dry air getting wrapped around the center here. Here's the particulars, real quick. Here's Hurricane Igor, 21.7 north, 58.1 west, 125 mile per hour winds. Moving northwest at 940 millibars. Looks like it's going through a eyewall recycling, or eyewall replacement cycle. You can see the small eye again. The storm's re-wrapping around. Looks like Igor will get into a intensification stage here in the next 12 to 24 hours, and then thereafter should level off as it heads towards Bermuda. You can see a little bit dry air on the west side. And Igor will continue to move off in this general fashion. Here's Bermuda up here, and if you're in Bermuda tonight, you want to get your preparations done. Here's Carl. Carl looking very healthy, a very compact, small circulation, and these circulations can develop rather rapidly. It's well developed, so if you're over here, right along the coast here, get ready. This is going to impact you, and this is going to be a very dangerous situation, but not quite as in a large area as, say, Igor would for Bermuda, although it's a small island. You're probably looking at a very small eye coming ashore, and impact should be maybe a 75-mile radius wide along the coast. Let's go back to the satellite real quick, because I've been talking about the possibility of some troubles down. My thinking, everyone. I'm going to try to get some maps out later on. You got the Cape Verde systems coming off still, and they're much further north now, but there's still a lot of activity along the ITCZ here. And I think this will continue. And as we get out of the Cape Verde seasons, these disturbances continue to kind of get in here into the Caribbean. I'm getting very concerned. The Gulf Coast, say about from right here in the central Gulf Coast of Louisiana near New Orleans, and I'm especially concerned about Fort Myers up to the coastal bend in Florida here and the Panhandle and over to Mobile Bay. What my thinking is, we'll have tropical systems trying to come up into this area and then start making that right-hand turn up in this fashion up through the Yucatan Channel here. This is one possibility. And with the jet stream coming further south, you see these storms coming further south, and I'm wondering if maybe we get a larger trough to swing down here and capture one of these tropical systems, and then we got problems along the eastern and northeastern Gulf of Mexico. And as this potential in the next few weeks down into October comes up here, so I'm thinking we're going to shoot this up along the east coast, and maybe we get some beneficial rain in the drought areas, or maybe it just cuts across Florida and heads out. Time will tell, but hurricane season is far from being over. I think it's going to be a hurricane season that lasts into late October. Maybe the first few weeks of November we'll get a few renegade storms out here. But if you're along the Gulf Coast, I just have this feeling, this inkling, that we're going to see some tropical system along the northeastern and eastern western Gulf of Mexico here along the west coast of Florida and near Mobile Bay and over to New Orleans maybe. But I would say from New Orleans east down to Fort Myers, I just have that inkling. I don't know, something about the way the pattern's setting up, and you see system after system moving off this way. I'm wondering if this shoots further west, and then we get this happening in recurvature out here in the Gulf of Mexico, make landfall in the northern Gulf of Mexico along the Florida coast here, Tampa Bay north, more Fort Myers north, and then rocket up the east coast here. Time will tell. If you're Brit tonight, get ready. Igor is coming. Just a matter of how bad it's going to be at this point. Everyone have a great night, and I'll talk to you all soon. This is Wild Weather for LiveWeatherBlogs.com.